Hey, what's up? It's your boy Rio. Hope everybody doing well. We done made it to June. Still a relatively nice summer. Hadn't got too crazy hot, nothing like that yet. So I hope everybody enjoying time with the family, enjoying time, with yourself. Just living life, living your purpose. Today I want to talk to you about just being yourself. Being yourself. Living for you, living for who you are, living for what God has a purpose for. A lot of times we'll get in relationships, we'll get with jobs, we'll have situations where we feel like we need to conform or change ourselves to make ourselves quote unquote better for either societal reasons or for the people we're trying to please. The thing is, we need to be trying to please ourselves first. If you can't please yourself first, you ain't never gonna be able to please anybody else. Um, I know this is definitely true with in a lot of cases with dudes who came from the streets or people who was in the streets. We feel like we need to be the exact opposite of what we were because we really know, who we really were when we was out there doing what we were doing. And it's just like, you definitely want to feel like you need to quote unquote change because you got kids, you may be married, you're doing everything legitimate now, and you just don't want that person who you were to constantly rear his head, because it can cause problems when you're not really out there like that. Some of the emotions and things like that, because you have a lot of triggers because obviously you dealt with trauma, you dealt with situations, PTSD, all kinds of things that you deal with when you have really lived that street life. And it's a lot that comes with that, aside from the money, aside from your temporary flash and fame or whatever you get from it or whatever. So uh and I know I've been guilty of that. I know when I left after Katrina, and my son was a little over a year old, I felt like I needed to be the total opposite of who I was. I used to even tell people Rio is dead, because I wanted to separate myself from who I was when I was out there in the streets and doing what I was doing. And that was definitely the wrong approach because I lost years of my life essentially in an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was. I was making decisions that I would have never made. I was doing things I would never did. No, don't get me wrong. I lived a good life, quote unquote being a worker because I always was a boss. Even in I've been a boss since middle school. So it's like I decided that I need to leave everything, and I was okay with being a worker. And when I became a worker, it jacked up my mentality. It changed who I was as a man, and I did this for like easily over a decade. Like it was just ridiculous, and I didn't really understand it until here recently, when I started going to therapy and praying more and talking to God more and things like that, and seeing things differently. I was just essentially able to see just a move in my life, and I was able to pinpoint around the time that my life really started going downhill, and I started changing as a person, changing as a man, when I really should have just been growing and not changing. And I think people need to kind of understand the difference in that. You can always be who you are, but you can just grow and be a better version of who you are. You don't have to change who you are. Just make better decisions, alter your mentality a little bit, but you can still be who you are at your core, because that's who God intended for you to be. Everything happens for a reason, right? So if everything happened for a reason, the person who you were, the person, the way you grew up, the way things happened for you, that was part of your path. We all have different paths. We're all not gonna be born with the silver spoons and all that. I remember waiting in line for that big ass block of cheese with my mama and King Vitamin and shit like that. I'm saying, that welfare line, using food stamps. What I'm saying, going to the store, having to quote unquote wait till the stamps hit so you can go make groceries. What I'm saying, like shit. I didn't know what that really meant and what it was as a kid, but that was just life. What I'm saying. And then I know here recently I had someone close to me try to tell me that, well, I said my father tried to tell me I didn't know the struggle, even though he never paid child support. He wasn't there, the vast majority of my life. So it's like he essentially assured that I would know the struggle, because he wasn't there. He wasn't involved. Even though he was in the Air Force, he eventually ended up getting a great job and, being this tech guy, making six figures for, years and years and years, and never paid child support, never did none of that shit. Never really did anything to help me grow as a man and prepare me for the world. You know what I'm saying? Nothing at all. My grandmother, my mother, and Big Rob is who really raised me, and the streets. You know what I'm saying? That's it. My dad did not raise me at all. So it's like, when we talk sometimes, it's almost disingenuous when he be like, yeah, I just want y'all to do good and be good. It's like, but you didn't give me no fucking tools to do good and be good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how you even gonna say that? How you gonna lump me in with your other kids? You gave them everything to succeed. You didn't give me shit to succeed. But anywho, it's not about him. The moral of the story is, do you, be you. Don't feel you need to change. Just grow. Make better decisions. Get in touch with who you truly are at your core. Get in touch with your faith. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what your purpose is in life and live your purpose. But live your purpose for you, not for anyone else, not for a marriage, not for a relationship, not for a job, not for a career, not for nothing else. Live your stuff for you, because that's the only how you're going to be the best version of yourself, if you stay true to you. So, again, this is personal experience, first-hand experience. There's no BS, no nonsense. So, y'all have a good one. Enjoy your Tuesday.